Hello everyone and welcome back to I Love EditorX. This tutorial is because couple of people already asked me how can we create this text effect. As you can see right here, when you hover this text, it's show a different one. And what is special on this case is that the background video is also changing. So if I go to the second link, now you see a different video. Alright, so we have here actually four text links and four different videos. So what I did, I basically download these videos from this website and we will try to recreate it on EditorX. Actually, this is my example, so you can see it's working, and it's pretty easy, I guess, except one part is that you can see in the mobile version that this is I need to refresh. I think let's go to mobile. I need to refresh it and then it autoplay. Okay, because you don't have hover effect on mobile, so in their version it's autoplay. So for this effect we will need to use code, but it's the last part and I won't go very deep, but just to prove that this is working, if I refresh it, and you can see it's autoplay, and it's pretty fast in my version, but we can of course play with this with the speed of the transition between the items. Alright, so first of all, let's see how we are going to create this simple text effect. Okay, it's repeated, so if we create one, everything will work the same. So how this is going to work? So what we have, if we jump right to the editor, so I can take this text, for example, if I open the layers panel, you can immediately see that I have two type of text elements inside a container, and we will use the hover interaction to animate the text elements, and the hover interaction is applied to the container and not to a specific text element. Alright, so if I won't display one of them, so you can say I have, this is the first text and this is the second one. Okay, let's don't display the first one. Okay, I have two type of text elements with different font style, and I can tell you that I already, when I prepared this tutorial, I already create the right text scale that I needed, and in mobile I have different text. This is without text scaling because I need to measure the height of this general container to be able to animate this text in pixels. Alright, unlike hover interaction where I can animate with different units like percentage, viewport height, width, and whatever. Right, so we said that we have two text elements inside a container, so this is represent the purple background is represent our container that contain both of text, and you can see that in the live site our philosophy text is the second one, is this one, is starting like outside of our wrapper container, the purple one. But in the editor, it's look like they are on top of each other. Okay, so the secret is to change the initial state of this text element, which is you can do it with two options, or from the property panels, or from here, from the adjust. You can see here the y, the translate y is 110 percentage, or you can do it from the initial state, from the tab of the interactions, and you can set it right here. Both ways are excellent. All right, so the interaction I set is like this. When I'm hovering the purple container, the first text is translate on the y minus 110 pixels. Why it's not 100 pixels? Because sometimes we have letters that is looks like they are outside of the height, like this y. So I just took like a few more percentage to calculate it. So this is the first animation. So if I go to the first text element, see I have text wrapper, second text, and first text. And the order is also important for accessibility and for our code. All right, so I have here an interaction. I set an interaction that says move out, which is move out, and what it does basically, it's go minus 110 percentage, right? When I'm hovering, and you can see this is the state. This is the state that the y we make is going up, and our philosophy is going in. All right, just like here. Okay. But we of course don't need to see our philosophy outside the container, so all we need to do is set these two hover effects are the same, except this container, the purple one, have also overflow hidden, so everything that is outside of this container we won't see. So let's create it really fast. Alright, so I'm going to create a new section. The height of it will be 100 VH, which is kind of full screen. And then we need a container. Let's create a container, and we need text elements inside. So I will copy these text elements because they already have the right text scale that I need. So first of all, I will pick the first one, y we make, and paste it right here. And just for now, for visibility, I will change this background to this color. And of course, I will remove the mean height of this wrapper container to none, and the width of it will be max content. All right. So why it's not max content right now? Because this text element is not sitting properly. So I will dock it to the left, I will dock it to the middle, and set the width to be 100%. All right. Second thing that I need to do, I need to take the second text element. So let's copy it and paste it right here, and of course let's position it the right way. And let's make sure our container doesn't have a mean height. It does not. Right, I think it's okay, but I will immediately change the naming here because it's super important to the animation later. So my container, I will change its name to be wrapper 1, not text wrapper 1, and this this is the second text, this is the first text. All right, so let's apply the interaction. So I'll choose the main container. I want to apply a hover effect to it. So let's go here, add trigger, add trigger, hover, and affected element. It's actually not the container itself, but it's children, right? The text element. So I will choose, oh, before we do it, you know what, it's okay. Let's apply an effect to a different item, not the container. So I'll choose the first text and click done. And then, oh, what I did, add trigger, hover effect, choose on canvas, first text, done, great. So I want to apply an effect, and I didn't create, oh, because I copied. So let's do it. Because I copied this first text, it's already have the effect. So I'll delete it because I want to do everything from scratch. And this is actually very good for us, that when we copy text that already have some effect, it will keep it, because it's save us lots of time. So first text element, I will create an effect to it. What's the effect that we need to create is move out, right? Move out, and it's actually up. All right, so start designing. What do we need to do to the first text element when we hover the text wrapper? We want to go minus 110% on the Y. All right, it's something like this. Okay, so you know what, let's make it a bit bigger, 20. All right, so the duration will be a half of a second. Great. So let's go check the initial state, also same speed. Great, done. Done. All right, second text elements. Now this one will be different, because first we need to change the initial state, right? So let's add custom effect, and I will call it also move up, move in, or move in, okay, which is also up. And what it does, basically, it's need to go, oh, you need to see, same, I copy it, so it copy also the property. So in the initial state, you can see that the Y is already 100%. Let's change it to 120%. So it's something like here, outside here. And on the animation we just created, the move in, so we need to make it go back to 0 position, which is the original one, okay? And the easing is half of a second. Great. So what we did just now, we create two potential effects for these text elements. All right, but now we need to apply a trigger. What element will trigger these effects? So it's of course this wrapper. So let's go to trigger, add trigger, hover effect, and we choose not the item itself, but from the canvas, right? So I'll choose the first text element, what this text should do. I already create the effect. It should move out, right? If we click preview, we see this is the animation. Great. Now we need another effect that the second text elements should go in, right? So let's add another interaction. Choose on canvas. It's this second text. Click done and move in. Let's preview it. Okay, let's click done, and now let's just preview our site. So okay, something is not right. Okay, so as you can see, this is the initial state. Our philosophy is outside of our container when we hovering in. The Y we make go up, and our philosophy also go up. When we go back, it's working. All right. So the second thing we need to do is to select the wrapper and change the overflow content to be hide. And now we won't see the text element that is outside. All right. So let's go to the publish, because I need to make sure that everything is correctly. So let's refresh it. And it's perfect. Okay. So all we need to do is to duplicate it, right? It will save everything. So I'll choose the container. I will remove the background. I don't need it. So let's duplicate it. Command D. Command D. And Command D. All right. So now from the layers panel, I'll choose everything, and I stack them together, which is basically create another container right here. Oh, I didn't choose everything. Okay, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stack. What? Okay, so let's do it like this. We have this stack element, and I will add some padding so I can edit like really quick. So 50, and now I'll choose this one and drag it into the stack element, and choose this container and drag it right here. So now I'll select the stack. I will remove the padding I just created. I will center it and make the item alignment to the left. Great. And the width will be max content. Great. So all the values are the same, but we don't care right now because we want to make it work, right? So let's publish it and see if we duplicate it with everything and everything is working as expected. So first one working, second one working, 3 1. Amazing. So easy, right? This is super easy. Okay, now the tricky one that we need to do is to change videos on the background based on the item I'm hovering in. Now this is also easy, but it's a lot of steps. Okay, so let's see how it's work. So basically, what effect should we need to set for each video? So each video, this is a single video, the default state will be opacity 0, because when we launch the page, as you can see in the original example, we see a blank screen. Only when I'm hovering, so I see the irrelevant video. So let's add and on the effects, I'm talking on the effects, not the trigger is of course these items this text that we are hovering, but the effects are, this video has two effects. It's tricky because we don't really need to create the hide, because if you remove the show effect, it should go back to the opacity 0. But I noticed that there is some glitch there, so it's better to create this hide effect. So the hide effect will apply when I'm hovering out specific items, so it will hide the video, return to opacity 0. But because the initial state is 0%, so we need to put some different value. So I put something like 0.0001, which is basically 0. Nobody can see. And the another one, of course, is the opacity 1 that will show the relevant video. Alright, so let's drag a video. I'll choose a video box because it's a decorative one. And immediately I will go to set two effects that this container have. The first one will be hide. Simply I'll go to opacity and change it to 0, and I'll change the duration to be same as my text hover, to a half of a second. And now I'll also go to the initial state, because by default I want it to be in opacity 0. I will change it also to 0. Okay. And the timing, of course, I need to make sure it's also half of a second. Alright, great. So this is the first effect we create. Now let's create another one, which is show. Why I'm doing it right now? Because I'm going to duplicate this video 4 times. So if I'm doing it for the first video, I don't need to do it for each one of them, because they will inherit all these properties. So the show is simply go back the opacity to 100% and the timing is correct, and let's click done. Alright, so this is, now we see the initial state, which is opacity 0. So let's stretch it because it should be a background video. And let's of course change the name to be video box 1. Why this number is important? Because I'll change this text to links wrapper. Because I forgot to do this one. Okay, so let's see. This is the first item. Actually, this is the first item. This was stack elements. It's a bit different. So the number is correct. This will be number 2. The naming is super important because you can work much faster when you have the right naming. You don't need to do it, but I love to put my elements in containers, because it's allowed me to edit a group of elements really quick, or to move them between sections or whatever. So I'll put it in a container, and I'll call it videos, you know what, background videos wrapper, and I'll stretch it, and the video box also need to be stretched inside. It's a bit difficult because you don't actually see the video, so the naming is really helping here. So let's duplicate this video and change the name to video 2, and I will stretch it. Now you can see that the video 1 and the video 2 has same effects already. Okay, so I don't need to bother. But before we duplicate everything, I just want to make sure that this wrapper is not stretched. One of the items, not, yeah, this one. All right, I just want to make sure that that one item is will need to make it go back and send back because it's cover my items. So I just need to create one check. Is when I'm hovering this container, the number 1 container, I want to reveal the first video. Okay, so let's go again to the trigger. We are talking about the hover, and we want to add another interaction, which is on different item on the canvas, and let's choose the video 1. Done. And now I want to apply an effect, which is show. All right, let's click done, and let's publish it and see if it's working. Amazing. You see, I'm hovering this wrapper container and I see immediately one video. Great, so this is working. So we can now be sure that we can duplicate 2 more videos. So let's duplicate this one, and immediately I will change the naming and duplicate it again. Great. So now I need to, now all the videos are the same. I forgot to stretch them, and I need to reorder them. 1 is the first, 2. Great. I forgot what I wanted to say. Okay, we needed different videos because right now all the videos are the same because we duplicate them. So I'll go to my gallery and change them in the quick ways. So first one should be this. Second video, you see the naming is super important here. Is this cube, it's this one. The third one will be, all right, this is the third. Change video, this one, and the last one, this one. Great, so let's publish it. Of course, now we need to see only this one, this video. So let's refresh it. Amazing. All right, so let's quickly, so okay, so now it's a bit tricky, okay, because it's not enough to show a specific video. You know what, maybe let's try to select the second container, and let's add new interaction. What do we want to do? We want to choose the video, the second one. This is the videos number 2, and what do we need to do is apply an effect, which is show. Let's click done, and let's publish it. First one is working, second one is also working. Amazing. I actually, when I created, I did it a bit more complex, so you can forget all about the hide state. You actually don't need it. Okay, this is my mistake. It will make everything much easier. Right, so all we need to do is to actually, I'm a bit surprised, but it's amazing, right? So this is item number 3. So let's choose on canvas. We need to choose the video number 3. Done. Let's add effect is show. Done. Let's go immediately to the 4 one. Add new interaction. Choose on canvas. Video box number 4. Done. Apply effect. Show. Done. Publish. Alright, first one, second one, third one, fourth one. Amazing. Easy, right? Alright, so I won't change the values, it's waste of time. What can we do? Oh, we need to fix now the mobile view. Okay, so if we go to mobile, which is something like this, I need to make it, you know what, I won't make it responsive because it's not worth it. I create this section responsive, the second one, but we will go over the code and what you need to do if you want, only if you want it to autoplay on mobile. Okay, just like this one. Okay, you can see that it's autoplay in a second. It should be all right. So it's a bit complex, but if you want to recreate exactly the same, it will work. You don't need to do anything, just to copy paste the code and change the IDs. So let's go over it. It should be simple. So I won't use the first section I create. I'll go, so this is the first one. I just this one. Okay, why? Because I already make it responsive, as I said before, and also I have the right IDs. All right, so let's open and see the IDs I create. Okay, so if in the first section we give a name for each container, so in my original practice, I use same method of naming, following naming by numbers, to give a unique name for each container, and following by the right video. So for example, the first one is hero text hover box 1. Okay, and the video is hero video 1. Right, so if we jump to the code, why I can't just open it. All right, so if we will go to the code, you can see the first thing that I'm doing here, except the import, is I'm actually mapping all the IDs. Can I make it bigger? Okay, so I'm mapping the IDs. Okay, here I have an array of objects. Each object is represent pair of text hover box and the relevant video we want to show when we're hovering. It's actually not a hovering because it's an autoplay, but it's okay. So as you can see, the first ID is hero text hover number 1. It's represent this one, and the video is the hero video 1. Okay, and I add everything for the rest. All right, so here I have another object that is holding the current state index, which is always the first one, this one, because this is the first item that is animated. It reveals the first text element link animation and also the first video. Okay, so the current state index is 0. If you want to for example start from the third, you can put here number 2 because it's an array. It goes like 0, 1, 2, so it's 1, 2, 3 items. Okay, so this is the current index. We update it by the animation, and the current state is this object. It's the first one. Okay, great. So I'll talk about it later. And we have here wait. So first of all, I'm checking which device we are using. Okay, because if it's desktop, we don't need to do anything. Okay, so I have here, actually I have here the play hero animation function. Okay, so first thing I'm checking is the device type. Okay, so if device type is different from desktop, then I'm setting the autoplay animation, which is to interval. Interval is something that is happening over and over and over, and what is the speed of this happening over? Set it to be second, which is pretty fast. So if I change it to 3 seconds, so the transition between the item will take 3 seconds and not 1 second. All right, so what is the init hero animation function? It's this one, the big one. Okay, so what do we have here? So the first thing we're doing is the hero interactive element. It's this array of items. We are looping over each object. So if on this array we have 4 links, we are looping 4 times. The first loop is this object, the second one is the second object, and you know how it goes on. So for each object inside the array, we have the object itself, which is contain these values, and we have the index. Okay, so first item is 0. Great. And now we are mapping the UI elements that we have. So first text is equals to the hover box, the children in the position 0. So if we will go back again to the layers panel, so you can see this is the hover box and this is the children. So children on 0 position is the first text. Okay, it's the first text, and the second one, the hidden one by default, is the last text. Okay, this is how I get the right elements. And the video is this one, the video. Okay, so this is important. Mobile font height. Okay, this is why I didn't use text scale on mobile, because I needed to get the height of one container. So if I change it here to be in pixels, you can see it's 35, but I took extra height. Okay, just to make sure. So I set it to be 40 pixels. All right, and the speed is 500 milliseconds, same as we set in the hover. All right, you can do here whatever you need. So so I won't go for everything, but anyway, So if the index is equal to the hero animation current state index, which mean this is the item we want to animate. Okay, so if this is the item we want to animate, we are setting the animation. This is the animation. Okay, it reveals the text and it reveals the video. So first text, we're doing same. We are moving the elements on the y-axis by minus the font height, which is 40 pixels, and the duration will take 500 milliseconds. So first text goes out, last text go in to the 0 position, and the video is showing, which is changing the opacity to be 1. Okay, and finally we are playing it. But also we are setting what happened on complete, when this animation completed. So first of all, we checking if this is the last item. Okay, this is the last item, and in our code this is the last item. So what do we need to do if this is the last item? We want to skip to the first item to create a loop, right? So I'm changing the hero animation state to the current state, which is 0 position, and also I am updating the right current state object, which is this one. All right, and if it's not the last item, we just take in the current state and we are increase it by 1, so we are jumping to the next item. And wait a second, and if it's not the element we want to animate, which is, for example, on the first loop is the first item is the element we want to animate, and all the rest is not. Okay, so what do we need to do all the rest is just to reset them, which is mean the first item should be, this should be 0 to the original place, and the last text to the original place, which to the initial state, which is minus 40 pixels height. And the video, of course, we want to hide it, right? And then we play. And this whole bunch of code is inside the set interval, okay, which is mean it's happening over and over each 3 seconds. And so this is great, this is working, but there is some performance issue that we don't want this animation to, especially on mobile, to run over and over and over, right? Because when the user is called out on mobile, I'm talking on mobile, when the user is called out on this section, we actually don't need this animation to run, right? So I'll just add here another section, or make this footer like, no, you know what, I will add the height should be, let's do 200 viewport height. Okay, so we will have like big scroll. So, oh no, what I did. Okay, so let's publish it, and I want, so basically what I'm doing, I'm saying if this section inside the viewport, so play the animation. Okay, so I need to refresh it, so you can see here in the log, you immediately see it. So first of all, you can see that the device type is mobile, and then you can see each 3 seconds it's playing. Okay, you see 4, 5. This is the iteration. And if I'm scrolled out this section, you see it says stop. which is mean that the animation is not running anymore. But if I scroll back in, it's start playing the animation again. Okay, see playing again. Okay, this is will make the mobile experience much better. Right? So that's it. If you have like 5 items, if you like creating another container with text elements, so what you need to do is you need to you need to update the ID. Okay, you need to copy this object and make another one of it. Okay, and then change it to 5, and this also to 5. So now you need to change the hover box ID to 5. For example, this hover box ID is number 2. You need to change the new one to the right ID, and the new video that you are creating to number 5. Okay, that's it. It's super cool, super easy except the code parts, but yeah, but you can create really amazing stuff with it. So that's it for now. Try it yourself, let me know in the comments if you succeed, and till next time, keep building amazing sites on EditorX.